What up guys, welcome to Angelasavalon's YouTube channel. I'm Angela. Subscribe, hit the like button, and do leave your comment, your feedback at the end of the video, and do watch until the end of the video. So in this video tonight or today, whenever it is that you're watching this video, I'm going to be talking about Venus in Aries. So I already made a Venus in Aries video for women on my channel, and I think it's the first video uploaded to my channel, and I already made another one, a Venus in Aries video that I made, but I privated that video because I felt like that video was just a random rant, and that was just my ranting, and I just felt like it was kind of impractical, so I just privated that video. And this is just going to be a better Venus in Aries video for men and women. So yeah, so let's get to it. So maybe I was also partially inspired because I just made a Venus in Libra. I just made a video about the Venus in Libra, the opposite of this placement. So yeah. So anyways, with all that being said, Venus in Aries. Okay, so Venus, what is Venus? So Venus is the planet that represents how we make money, how we deal with society, or approach to relationships of all kinds, partnerships, friendships, platonic, marriage, and how we approach society in general as well. Right, or Mars placement is whether or not we approach, and Venus is how we approach. So Venus also rules the second house of money and possessions, and it rules the seventh house of partnerships. So the seventh house is of Libra, and the second house of Taurus. So how I like to think about it is that Taurus is the material side of Venus. You know, it's that financial side, right? That's the word. Taurus is the financial side of Venus, and Libra is the intellectual side of Venus. Okay, so let's get to it. So yeah, so I mentioned all of that, so just so you know what Venus represents if you're completely new to astrology. So anyways, without that being said, when Venus is in here in Aries, it's pretty much in detriment. Now, I know I said I don't believe in good or bad in astrology. I just believe in different energies, which I do, right? But the thing is, this is the one placement that really is, because I'm so familiar with this placement, I can confirm that when it comes to actual reality, it is pretty much in detriment. This placement is pretty much in detriment. Why? Because also, like I said, because it opposes Libra. Venus in Libra is at home. You know how I said in my Venus in Libra video? If you watched my Venus in Libra video, then you know that Venus in Libra is at home in Venus. So Aries is the opposite of Libra. That's why it's in detriment, because it doesn't belong in Venus. Venus doesn't like to be in Aries. Venus actually hates being in Aries. Okay, because Aries is ruled by Mars. Mars is opposing Venus, and Mars, when Venus rules femininity, Mars rules masculinity, and Mars rules Aries. So that makes for a pretty masculine position for Venus. Now this video specifically is going to be directed towards men and women, but the thing is, only for the reasons that I mentioned just now, it is pretty clear to see why, at least in heterosexual relationships, why a man with this placement is not gonna really have too much trouble, because it's just gonna make him very comfortable in his masculine energy. But because Venus in Aries, and Aries is ruled by Mars, because Venus in Aries is such a masculine placement for Venus, it makes a heterosexual. It is pretty uncomfortable for a heterosexual female with this placement to have this placement, because this placement, it makes, because Venus in Aries in general, they like things to be like that. quick, because they, Aries, like I said, is ruled by Mars, and Mars doesn't like to wait. Mars likes things coming up like this. Mars is the initiator. It's very initiating energy. So when you put it in Venus, a planet of peace and harmony, and you put it in Aries, fire, cardinal fire sign, the warrior, Aries, the warrior, the soldier, when you put it in Venus, it makes for very confrontational, direct, somewhat rude person sometimes, because these people like things like this, and they don't like, it's because like I said in my Venus in Libra video, if Venus in Libra are when Venus is at home in the opposite of this placement, if Venus in Libra are constantly kind and polite and complimentary, they like to compliment. This placement is the opposite of that. This placement is living for the here and the now. So, for example, if they have a love interest or an object of their desire or crush, Venus in Aries, man and woman are gonna be like, they're just gonna come up to the person. Let's say it's a bar, it's a pub or something, right? And they see someone they're attracted to, man and woman. They're gonna just go approach the person, get their number, and boom, If they realize that it's not working, then that's it, they're done. If they realize that the other person is not interested, or they're not interested, or they're turned off, that's it. And if they have a problem with something or someone, they cut it off like this. They cut people off like this. That's why they burn bridges so much, because they have no patience. They don't think before they act. They act and only then they think, but even then, they don't think for long. It's a very, these placements, they initiate and they get over things as quickly as they initiate. It's not very much, it's not a really committing placement, okay? And that's why I said, because Aries is ruled by Mars and it rules masculinity, a man with this placement is not really going to have too much trouble. That's just going to make him very confident. What's wrong with that, right? Yeah, but it's more troublesome for a heterosexual woman in this placement. Because even now, in the age of feminism, when women are encouraged to be more in the masculine side, still, and I see women with this placement and they still struggle. Why do they struggle? Because when it comes to love interest, when it comes to intimacy, when it comes to flirting between a man and a woman, it goes for all kinds of relationships, but I'm gonna focus more on the heterosexual ones, because that's the ones I'm more experienced in. That's the ones I witnessed and observed with the people I know with this placement as well. So that's why I'm using that as an example, but the same applies. The same applies for like same-sex relationships. The same applies. So take what applies to you. This is just an example I'm using. So let's say, for an example, if it's a heterosexual relationship, what's going to happen is that, and what does tend to happen is that, let's say a woman with this placement, she's gonna have a hard, and a woman with this placement. So why did I bring up feminism? Because even in this day and age, when women are encouraged to be more in their masculine energy, they still have trouble with this placement. Because why? And like I said, because when it comes to flirting and intimacy, these are not things that have anything to do with these are things that are gonna be pretty much always stay the same. Even like with the even like you would think like hookup culture and everything, and technology, whatever, right? Dating is different now, yes, but still, for the most part, let's admit it, in heterosexual, that's why I'm saying in heterosexual relationships, because it's mostly going to be a problem for heterosexual women, because in heterosexual relationships, let's admit it, men do like feminine women. I feel like, men do like feminine women for the most part. Men that are constant. And you know what it is? The men that a Venus in Aries female is attracted to, those kinds of men that she's attracted to and that she wants, they're the ones that want a feminine woman. They're the ones that are not. It's almost like she can be the kind of woman that she can be is. It's almost like the men that she is attracted to requires something that she cannot have. You know what I mean? So. Because like the soft guy and everything. Yeah, a heterosexual woman with a Venus in Aries is not interested in a soft, artistic guy kind of thing. No, she likes masculine men. And men with Venus in Aries, they want a confident, sexy woman, you know. Again, depends on like the rest of the chart, right? Depends on like how Venus is aspected, but for the most part. And when I say sexy, like every man has this type, right? But when I say sexy, that they like a woman that is just pretty much confident in her own skin, you know what I mean? Yeah, so that's a Venus in Aries. So the guys are not going to be very much a problem. Like a guy with this placement is just, you know, the only thing, it just might be like a bit of a macho, but that's not really like a problem, right? Like, just gonna be pretty much just gonna make him masculine in other words. So it's really a problem I witnessed. Really, the ones that take the fall with this placement is women, is heterosexual women. Because I feel like even in like same-sex relationships, it's easier. This placement is not really much of a detriment. It can have its, you know, like every other placement, it has its downsides, but it's not really a detriment for anyone with this placement other than a heterosexual female. That's really the detriment part of this placement, because at least romantically speaking, I'll mention the downsides, the other downsides as well as I continue this video. But romantically speaking, only heterosexual females take the fall for this, because they do not know how to be feminine. They do not know how to be, they're very much in the masculine energy. They don't know how to flirt. They don't know how to charm, you know. That's why I said in my Venus in Libra video that Venus in Libra is a gift to have if you're a woman, especially heterosexual female. Because you're going to be very much comfortable in your feminine energy. You're going to be very alluring. And Venus in Aries is the opposite. They don't know how, they're very, don't get me wrong, they're very sexy. They can be very alluring. They can have a sex appeal to them, even though somewhat androgynous, I think that's a word, at least when they don't have any makeup on. But other than that, or the body, let me try it. But other than that, they got it all for them, except that they don't know how to flirt. They don't know how to be feminine or to be comfortable in their feminine energy. Their body language is not feminine. It's ruled by Mars. So you connect the dots, right? And as well, and I also like, I would elaborate more, but I already did a Venus in Aries for females only video, so I elaborated pretty much on that video. So go watch that video if you're curious. More, and if you're a female with displacement, a heterosexual female, and you're curious, like you want a video of me just talking about that element of displacement, like just go watch that video that I made about Venus in Aries for females. But anyways, with all that being said, yeah. So you know, it's a bit of a downfall if you're a heterosexual female with displacement. But yeah, so moving on, for generally men and women, the downside of this placement that applies for both is the fact that these people, they have no patience and they burn bridges like this. And they really, really like, the thing is that they need a constant, like, they're really pretty much into the on and off kind of thing. Not only in relationships, like, not only like in romantic relationships or sexual relationships, it's all kinds of relationships, friendships, even family dynamics. They need that on and off, you know. They need that constant boom, 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 you know. They need that fighting, you know, to spike. It's almost like they feel dead, or they feel that the relationship is dead if they're not like fighting with the partners. I know it sounds kind of weird if you do not have displacement, but they're like that because they need constant stimulation that results in fighting and arguing with their partners or with their friends and the people close to them to keep the relationships in their life, lives alive. That's how they keep the dynamics in their lives alive, you know, even though it's completely unhealthy, right? That's why, hence why it's in detriment, because it's not really healthy and most people do not want to deal with it. There are very few placements that are gonna put up with it, because like I said, because Venus in Aries people will put you through BS, and the irony is that they have zero patience for BS, yet they will put you through BS. I'm telling you, they can be very bossy as well, argumentative, bossy, opinionated as hell. And they like to win, you know, and because Aries is ruled by Mars, they like to win, which means they like to win arguments as well. They like to win you over. So many times their crushes are all about victory for them, to win someone over and then boom, ghost them and go to the next. And if you're like their friend, they will win you too. How do they think that they're gonna win you over? If they win your arguments. These people will argue with you the whole night. Day and night they will argue, especially because they like, especially if they're not, if you, especially if you keep saying that they're wrong, because that's gonna provoke them even more. These people like to be right, and even if you admit that they're right, they still like to argue. They just like to argue. It's Mars. They can get very uncomfortable, and they burn bridges, and before they want to, they end relationships before they actually want to end relationships, and because Venus has to do with possessions, the way we earn money, right? It was the second house of money and possessions. These people can be compulsive spenders, okay? These people can be shopaholics. These people are they're complete slaves to their impulses, and they are very impulsive. So, impulsive shopping is a thing for them, men and women with this placement. They snap very easily. It's very easy to trigger them. Very easy to trigger them. Be careful what you say around them. These people get triggered so easily. Because like I said, they're very impulsive. There's constant fire living with them. These people are constantly heated. This heat, and they need heat. That's the thing though. They require heat constantly. You'll never get a break. They require it constantly. That's why it's in detriment. Venus is not comfortable, and Venus is all about comfort. So when it comes to money, absolutely compulsive, impulsive shoppers. They have no patience when it comes to making money, which is very unfortunate because they're actually very good. Like I said, they're very good initiators, so they might have really good ideas and business ideas and business plans. But the thing is, because they get tired of things very quickly and they get bored so quickly, they lack the patience to make money. They like to pay. It's almost like, the thing is, they have the ability to be rich, but they lack the actual patience it takes to get there, to get rich. You know what I'm saying? They want to get rich quickly, but the thing is, what they gotta realize is that it doesn't happen quickly, and many of them do realize that. Yet they cannot change that because, like I said, Aries here, because it's ruled by Mars. Mars is all about impatience, so it's really almost like unchangeable. And I'm not saying they cannot work on it at all. I'm sure there are ways to work on that, but I'm here just to deliver the message. Like I'm an astrologer, I'm not a therapist, but maybe therapies actually can help them with that. Maybe a therapist, someone they can talk to, they can let their aggression in therapy so that they don't have to take it out on people or their business, because they can ruin, because a lot about business has to do with your networking and dealings with people, and they burn bridges like instantly. Because sometimes the reason why they do it, because they burn bridges so instantly with people, and they lose opportunities in life, is because number one, they lack patience, and number two is because they have this so much aggression inside of them because it's Mars here, so they have so much aggression built up inside of them that they need to let out. And because many times they don't have an outlet, they let it out on people. So they let it out on their business partners, and that's why they lose opportunities. So I actually think therapy can help them, believe it or not. Either therapy or working out, which they, by the way, like, because Aries likes to work out. So Venus and Aries, they like to work out, men and women. They like boxing. They like going for a run. When they walk, because it's Mars, they walk very quickly. These are the people that walk so quickly. They can just be doing something as casual as shopping, but it looks like they're exercising. Me personally, I somewhat relate to that because I have Venus conjunction Mars, so I do, my body language is very quick. Even like in my videos, I talk with my hands a lot, I move a lot. You guys see that, and I walk very quickly. When I walk down the street, no matter what, even if just for my own pleasure or for my own, for the sake of fun, right? Because I like walking, right? I like walking. For me, it's like a leisure thing I do for like a leisure activity, right? I walk so fast, and I believe it somewhat has to do with having Venus conjunction Mars. which is similar energy to Venus in Aries. But my Venus is in Aquarius after all, so that fixed Aquarius energy helps with that. But anyways, yeah, so they can be really quick walkers. They're quick in everything. Actually, everything they do is quick. It's like this. It's quick. They're all about speed. Venus and Aries do not like slow. Okay, Aries does not like slow. Do not be slow. They hate slowness. In fact, they actually might not. They might. They might find slow people aggravating because they hate slowness. Whenever they see someone slow down the street, they feel they need to push them, not that they're doing it, but believe me, they feel it because like I said, Aries is ruled by Mars, so, and Mars can be violent, so depends on the rest of the chart and depends on the mental health, if they're healthy or not. They can also be violent, so be careful. They can be violent, especially a man with this placement, but also a woman. Women with displacement can be gangsters, Depends on the rest of the chart and depends, where they came from, how they grew up. They can be gangsters. Yeah. And they can be aggressive with the words. These people, if you trigger them, they might be so hurtful. They might make you cry with the words. And you think that's a Gemini thing. Yes, but it's also an Aries thing. Do not think because Mars is not about intellect, it's about action, that they can be offensive with the words, because they can be. These people will hurt you when it hurts. These people will hurt you where it hurts the most. They know to spot a weakness because they're so strong that it's so easy for them to see to spot weaknesses in people. And they will take you down. Don't forget, Mars is partially ruling Scorpio, so they will take you down. But unlike Scorpio, they're not even vindictive because they get over things quickly. So what they might do, they will attack you in that moment, and then they would forget that you ever existed. That's why they forgive very easily, because it's almost like there's nothing to forgive. They forgot who you are, what you are. You're dead to them immediately. That's why they forgive easily. As opposed to Scorpio that doesn't forgive. Like, they might get a revenge for you and still hate you for what you did to them. Like, they might... Scorpio, if they don't actually kill you, they might have fantasies of killing you and spitting on your grave. That's Scorpio. But Aries, no. They will just attack you in that moment, if not kill you. Then that's it. Goodbye. They didn't kill anyone because they don't remember who you are the next day. They deleted. Bye. Delete file. Like, they're almost like computers. Like, it's almost like you're just another file that they deleted from their brain. And you think that's a Gemini and Aquarius. I know you think that's like an air sign thing. Many people think, oh, but that's an air sign thing. Yes, but it's also their thing. Only the thing is that they do it so fast. It's like they don't really have to think about it. As opposed to air signs. Air signs think, they analyze. No, not them. You just deleted. You're just a file. You're just another thing, another person, another file in their life that they just deleted. That's it. Boom, gone. Yeah, so don't piss them off. That's what I gotta say, you guys. Unless you're like a Scorpio, maybe then you can win them, but you can be the one with the victory, but don't. But anyways, but yeah, so yeah, like I said, Venus in Aries, yeah, man and woman, impulsive, impatient, and it's it's very, it's the big, the big downside is that they're so capable. They have so much potential to succeed financially, to do so much good in this lifetime, in their lifetime. Yet many times they cannot manage to do it. That's the thing with displacement. So much potential, so much of it. Yet they can barely manage to actually accomplish. At least, and of course, I'm not saying that they don't accomplish, because they accomplish a lot. But the thing is, the greatness that they're capable of accomplishing, that big thing, that American dream, if you will, right? They have so much potential to accomplish that dream, yet they don't have the tools that it requires, that it takes to actually get there. It's almost like they almost got it, And that's why it's so unfortunate, because they are so capable, so initiating, such warriors, such so they are the soldiers of life, yet they cannot actually conquer victory, not them. Not them, unless they work on it or they have other things in their chart. I'm thinking about the one thing at a time in these videos. So it's just about displacement. If you have a lot of people have other things in their chart that can help them with this, but slowly or that, no, it's too much like that. And like I said, it's not that they don't win in life. They can win in life. They can win big, and a lot of a lot of famous figures have displacement, and they won at life, right? But what I'm saying is that many times the average person with displacement, if they don't have anything else that can help them in their chart, they might achieve things they will achieve things in life, but the thing is they will never be satisfied because in their head they're like, oh, I achieved all these great things, I made all these great connections, yet I'm not where I want to be, that kind of thing. That's what I mean by not win, because for them the big victory is getting to the top, and if they're not in the top, if they're still climbing, they might be like, am I doing something wrong? When will I get there? That's what I mean. It's not that they are incapable of victory. That's not what I'm saying. But the victory is going to be very hard. And many times they don't get there. Or they don't get there yet, right? They might, but they don't get there yet. They didn't get there yet. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. That's what I mean. Because they lack commitment. They lack the consistency. They like patience, And you need all of these elements that I just mentioned to make money, to make a relationship last, to make a marriage last. You need it, And, last thing I'm going to say, and it applies to relationships with this aspect, especially romantic relationships. Another thing is that what makes displacement a kind of somewhat self-sabotage, am I saying it right? Self-destructive, let's say, right? What makes displacement somewhat of a self-destructive one is because they're, when they think, because it's because even though they might crave a relationship, right? Even though they might crave to be married one day or just have, a committed relationship with someone, because they might, depends on the rest of the child, they might, like if they have Capricorn or, or Taurus in their child, they might crave that. But the thing is, because of displacement of Venus in Aries, they might crave being married someday. They might crave future marriage. They might crave being with a committed partner. They might crave monogamy, right? But the thing is that what tends to happen is that they might crave all those things, and yet when they think about settling down or compromising, because you have to compromise in order to have a successful marriage or partnerships. You have to be able to be compromising to a degree, and because they're so incapable of that and they know it and they resist it so much, they resist compromising, they resist because they're so because they're so independent. They don't want anything restricting them or restricting their independence. They might really reject, they automatically and systematically reject all things that are, compromising and, respecting their partner's wishes, doing what the partner wants them to do, being at home, or, because they're so addicted to fun and stimulation, and they get bored so easily, and they cannot stand boredom. Boredom to them is equal to death. Because of that, because of all of that being said, because of all the things I just mentioned, that's why it's a bit self-destructive because they crave, you know, commitment so much, yet they like everything that has to do with maintaining it, you know what I mean? And that's like the unfortunate part of this. Is that's another unfortunate element of displacement as well, especially for women with displacement, because a lot of heterosexual women with displacement crave relationships and they cannot maintain them, and they cannot, you know, and it's kind of like a self-destructive cycle in a sense, you know. So yeah, so with all that being said, let me know how this video went. Please leave me your feedback down below, hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, please shoot me a donation if you like this video or you like any of my other videos and you're feeling generous. Please shoot me a donation. I'll be very grateful for that, and I'll see you in the next one.